yeah, baby.
Hey, Jim. I have been thinking about what I'm going to do with all these extra bodies around here. I have a fully functioning retractable hardtop, and all of the pumps and hydraulics and everything to make it work. It does work. So why can't I use that elsewhere? I have the old Jeep frame. I was thinking, geez, why don't you just pop that Mercedes body right on the old Jeep frame? Yeah, the wheelbase is like 19 inches off, so I don't think that's going to work. It was a fun idea, but I really want to figure out something neat to do with that retractable hardtop. Any suggestions, ideas? I'm all ears. But today, back on this Honda. The 1985 Honda Accord. The sharp-eyed among you may notice a few bits and pieces missing since last time we visited this car. And there I was kind of trying to mark out how much and maybe where I would be needing to cut this thing if I needed to shorten it, and that way I could make this wheelbase match the wheelbase of the Jeep frame that I have that I'll show you soon. But I think that's just too much work for such a crappy body, so that's why I decided instead to just go ahead and start parting it out. And the reason for that is I'm pretty much positive this engine is absolutely toast, and we're going to definitively prove that in just a moment here. This should be short and sweet. This is a Honda. As you can see plainly, it's a 12 valve, and it's what's known as an interference engine, which means that during the course of the piston cycle, there are times where the valve intrudes deeper into the combustion chamber, and if all of a sudden the valve is open and it doesn't close in time and the piston comes all the way up, it hits and causes terrible damage. And this has a failed timing belt, so the entire valve train has not been turning. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pull off the valve cover. I'm going to pull off the top, the cam and all of that, so there will be no pressure whatsoever on our valves. So every valve is completely closed. And then I'm going to put air into the spark plug hole. I'm going to seal it up with my rubber air line and put air in there. And a viable engine, that should be airtight with the valves closed. This one I'll bet won't be. Okay, this shouldn't take too long. I think I just have to take off these 10, and then this should lift out. Let's see. Okay. Hey, just to make sure you understand, this is not the right way to do this if you're working on an engine that you're expecting to ever have run again. Your only reason I'm doing it this way is because this is a junkyard car, and I'm just doing it in a hurry. You would normally have to do this in a certain order and using a torque wrench. I mean, you wouldn't do what I'm about to do. So don't do this at home. I had to pull the distributor, and so now this should just lift out of here. Yeah. My bolts I don't think are all the way out. All right, I'm going to use two hands to actually pull this. It's kind of heavier than I expected. Yeah. I lied. There we go. Here's another good one. I figured out where this crazy, dangerous, hot wire goes. It's connected directly to the positive post of the battery when there's one in here. And it ran across the front of the car. Nice zip tie work. And then we get over here, there's some splices. And then there's an open splice just floating around here. Remember, this is attached directly to the hot side of the battery with no fuse. And then it goes down, and if you follow it, sorry, I'm turning it upside down here, but it goes directly to the electric cooling fan. And then the wire comes back out of the electric cooling fan, black, because now it's the ground. Comes under here, it turns red mysteriously again, and it goes up through the firewall, and it goes to a switch. And now there is another open splice right here, connected still, even though it's going through the fan, directly to the battery. So even if the fan is off, this is always charged. Even if the car is off, this is connected directly to the battery. So then it goes through the firewall, and then there's a little fanboy type switch under a cover that it could flip open and flip the switch, and then it goes from the switch to ground. Oh, lordy. As you can see, I've removed a few more things, and I removed this, the top of my compression tester, and that way I could use just the hose here and thread it. I've threaded it into cylinder number 1, and then I'm going to press my rubber tipped air hose here. It makes a little noise, it leaks a little bit around its quick disconnect, but hopefully you'll be able to hear when I apply the air pressure to cylinder number 1. You can hear it leaking. I'm going to take the microphone here and I'm going to clip it right down there. Excuse me if there's a little noise for a second here. Okay, so I'm going to hook up my air hose, and I'm going to apply pressure, and it should be quiet. It should pressurize and then just be quiet. There should be no sound of any air moving in there. That's me off. So there's definitely air escaping inside. Valves aren't closing all the way. Motor's done. But unfortunate. Well, you know, I knew what I was getting. A $200 car. Come on. I figured the motor was toast, and it is. I'm still having a great time. I'm taking it apart, and I'll never have to put it together again. And I find that terribly entertaining. Also, I'm putting some of the parts on eBay. If anybody sees this and wants them, find me on eBay. I'm sure you can if you just look for 85 Honda parts, but that's where they're going, and I'm selling them cheap and having a great time taking that car apart. Thanks for watching. Oh, and I'm going to use the seats. I'm going to use the seats in the Jeep. I'm pretty sure of that. So.